Hello, and welcome to this short informational video on Little Dry Creek flood hazard mapping. In this video, you'll learn about the updated flood risk information based on a recent study by the Mile High Flood District, as well as background information and education about Little Dry Creek. The Mile High Flood District was established in 1969 as a regional agency dedicated to supporting stormwater management and flood control across the metro area. In partnership with local jurisdictions, Mile High Flood District has been actively studying flood risk along Little Dry Creek. The City of Westminster, the City of Arvada, and Adams County are responsible for enforcing floodplain regulations that meet or exceed FEMA's minimum standards. They also oversee development review and land use planning while coordinating with partner agencies to carry out flood studies and implement drainage and flood mitigation projects. The Little Dry Creek Basin is one of the many drainage basins in the Denver metro area that convey stormwater to local creeks and ultimately to the South Platte River. Located in the northern part of the metro area, it includes portions of the City of Westminster, the City of Arvada, Adams County, and Jefferson County. So, what is a flood hazard area delineation study? A FAD study provides an updated evaluation of flood risks within the Little Dry Creek Basin and its tributaries. It identifies revised floodplain boundaries and enhances an understanding of flood behavior using current watershed conditions and modern analytical methods. The last FAD was completed in 1978. The known flood risk at the time is indicated in light blue on the map. Today, the updated study provides a clearer understanding of how water moves through the basin during major storm events. It also shows that properties along the Little Dry Creek face a higher flood risk than previously identified in 1978. This is shown in dark blue. So why has the flood hazard changed and why do we update flood information? The flood risk information is updated periodically for several reasons, including increased development within the basin, changes in land use and surface conditions, climate variability and shifting participation patterns, and advances in hydrologic modeling technology. Modern modeling tools provide a more accurate and detailed understanding of how water moves through the basin during flood events. As a result, assumptions used in earlier studies may no longer reflect current or future conditions. So why did we study flood risk? Flood hazards pose serious risks to life, health, safety, and property. Communicating these risks is essential to helping build our communities and keep them safe and prepared. Do you know that just 6 inches of fast-moving water can knock down an adult? Or that only 12 inches of water can carry away a small car? Walking or driving through moving floodwater is one of the leading causes of flood-related deaths, which is why staying informed is so important. Let's take a look at the Little Dry Creek Basin. The majority of land use in the basin is residential, with commercial and industrial areas located along Sheridan Boulevard, Federal Boulevard, and US Highway 36. Understanding how land is used throughout the basin helps identify who may be affected by flooding. Currently, about half of the structures at risk are residential. This map shows the topography of the basin with the highest elevations to the west displayed in purple and red, and the lowest elevations in blue near Clear Creek. Stormwater flows from higher elevations to lower areas, moving eastward along Clear Creek. As it travels, it picks up additional runoff along the way, as indicated by the arrows. Stormwater moves through a city in a variety of ways. Runoff is conveyed through streets and inlets carried by underground pipe systems and flows through creeks and channels. It can also be managed using detention facilities that temporarily store water. This map highlights the existing stormwater infrastructure within the basin, including a combination of pipes, detention ponds, and streets. In addition to basin topography and existing stormwater infrastructure, several other factors influence flood risk. One key factor is how land use has changed over time. The evolution of land use in the basin shows a steady increase in urbanization. What once was a primarily agricultural land before the 1900s began to change rapidly after World War II as suburban development expanded and open spaces were replaced with roads, rooftops, and other infrastructure. By the 1970s, the impacts of this growth led to the adoption of modern floodplain mapping and stormwater regulations, including hydrologic analyses and detention requirements, tools that continue to play a critical role in managing runoff and reducing flood risk today. So, why do we look at historic development patterns? As an area transitions from open or agricultural land to a more developed urban environment, the amount of impervious surface increases. Impervious surfaces such as roads, rooftops, and sidewalks do not absorb water. As a result, more stormwater runs off the land and it moves faster, increasing both the volume and speed of runoff. Today, the Little Dry Creek Basin is approximately 50% impervious surface, with streets, sidewalks, rooftops, parking lots, and driveways limiting infiltration and increasing stormwater runoff. By comparison, the 1978 FAD assumed that only about one-third of the basin would be covered by impervious surfaces. Current conditions have therefore exceeded the expectations outlined in the 1978 study. Beyond the updated flood hazard study, Mile High Flood District is working with partner jurisdictions across the basin to evaluate potential drainage infrastructure improvements that can help reduce flood risk over time. This effort, known as the Major Drainageway Plan, MDP, serves as a planning tool to guide future development and identify public works solutions that use best management practices. Flood risk management strategies across the basin can take on many forms. Traditional gray infrastructure, such as storm water pipes, play a key role in conveying stormwater through older systems that are often undersized for current conditions. Detention basins can temporarily store water during storm events, helping to reduce peak flows. In addition, greenways and natural areas offer a more sustainable approach for managing stormwater while also supporting a more resilient and healthy natural environment. So, what happens next? Due to changes currently taking place at the federal level within FEMA, the timeline for fully implementing these updated floodplain maps may shift. If the current process continues, these changes are anticipated to become official as early as 2031. At this point, affected properties may become subject to federal flood insurance requirements. In the meantime, Mile High Flood District will continue working with local jurisdictions to plan and implement projects that help reduce flood risk across the basin. We hope that this information has been helpful in understanding Little Dry Creek flood risk and contributing conditions. Awareness of these conditions not only protects the community, but builds resilience among residents to prepare for and rebound from potential flooding. Please work with us to build community awareness and understanding. Understand if you are in a high, medium, or low risk area and discover the resources that are available to protect you and your property. For further information and to leave your comments or questions, please visit the Mile High Flood District website. Thank you so much.